Bonjour, mon ami, and welcome to round one of IIRL Season 9 No Assists. We're back after, what's it been, a month and a bit? A little bit, waiting in the new game coming out. Finally back. Join us on St. Lawrence River on the Ile Notre Dame. We are back, ready to go. Good evening, Socks. Hello, Deton. How are we all? Let's get everything up and running. It is just me today. Not sure if we'll get other ones in during the season, but it is just me on my own for this evening. And hopefully we'll get some drivers out on track soon, fingers crossed, unless they're all still sorting setups, of course. How are we all feeling? I know it's still early and it's still Q1, but how are we feeling? Hello, David. No one seems eager to come out. I know, it's insane. I think JJ's going to be the first one out here, so all eyes will be on him. Right on board with him just now. Down the pit lane, and that's either John or Powen coming out just now as well. Hello, Rids. How are we doing? I'm all good, my friend. I'm all good. There we have it then, first car out on track for Q1. If you are new to the streams, new to the league, we this is our no assists branch. We've got 3 tiers. We've got the no assist, we have the open tier on the Thursdays, and then we have our assist tier on the Sunday nights as well. All run at the same time, 7:30, depending on, or if there's races on at the same time for the Sunday, that might change as well. But Tuesdays we're always 7:30. Our full quali, attendance permitting, and 50% race distance as well. So we've got 35 laps ahead of us this evening. We've got a lot more cars out on track just now as well, which is very good to see. This is poor form, don't recognise your voice. Which hello, Gold Deluxe as well. How are we all doing? It's good to see everybody back. Very long time. But JJ coming up to the Wall of Champions, getting ready to start his lap, so we're right on board with him, and hopefully he doesn't get a this and next. No commentators, because he's taking it very slow through that final chicane, which is fair enough to him. We know how brutal that's been this game. Anyway, starting the first lap of Q1 into turn 1, just at that 100-metre board. A little bit of a lock-up, but should get away with it. I think John maybe, is that John? Oh dear. That's not the start you want. I think they both got away with that. It was Powen coming out of the pits, it wasn't John. We'll ride on board with him because he was the next car coming round, but that's that's not the start you want to the season. That's not a good omen. I think they both evaded a grid drop for the little love tap, but it was caught on streams. If they want to submit it, me and Steely will have a look. We'll ride on board with John as he flies his way through turn 8 and 9 up towards the hairpin. We'll see how he does for his banker lap. He has been, we did do a social race, or a wee practice race last night like we usually do. And we discovered that John's a little bit cracked. In fact, most of the lobby tonight are a bit cracked at Canada. I believe it is 6 of the drivers we have on the grid for tonight are top 100, and 3 of them are top 15. So that's already quicker than my time trial. The guy's on another level already. But there we go. First marker down of the evening. The 9.5 from John. That should see him safely through into the next session. I think it's Preb as he's the only Ferrari up to the line. There's a 12.7. Jacob just behind us. I think this is his no assist debut as well. Was assists last season, and he came runner up to COD Camper in the end, and he's also made the step up to NA. I think he already was NA, but he's now gone proper full time for just NA instead. It's a big lock from Prev there, but he's on his in laps, that's alright. COD's just started his lap now as well. I think that's a Williams coming round. The last couple of corners, it is Chaz up to the line, and that was invalid with a this and next, so I'm assuming that was at the last chicane. Ethan goes P2 with an 11.0, so it's already decently close. I know there's only been about 4 laps on the board, but it's good to see that they're still pretty close together. I think Padge has just started his lap, and I believe our runner-up from last season, Willow, as well. Killian, you seem lonely. I wouldn't say lonely. I kinda enjoy doing it myself. I've got all my notes in front of me. I got everything I need. Sometimes it's better to ping pong off people, but we'll manage for tonight. I might have to switch from wine to whiskey. Oh, excuse me. But we're right on board with Willow as he completes his lap. This is probably one of the main, he will be one of the main title protagonists this season. My English is horrendous. John already done with Q1, 1 lap and done. That's good enough for him. Willow might get a little bit of traffic at the end of his lap down. This is something I didn't know, that this straight is apparently called the Casino Straight. So there you go, every day's a school day here in Montreal. I think I said Toronto earlier, I can't remember. It's Montreal. It's a little bit of that dirty air from that car ahead, and it's not as good a run through that last corner as he wants. Still a 10-1, it should still seem safely through. I don't know if Willow will be personally happy with that. Another McCowan, he's done a this and next, it's unfortunate for him. Who else is coming up to the line? Let's see, I think JJ's just starting his lap now. It's Rev, did he go again? I think he is going again, but he may have a little bit of traffic. Padge done his lap up in P6. And Cod did his lap as well with 10.7. So I couldn't actually see where Cod was on the leaderboard. I think he was a little bit further down. He was still top 100, I'm assuming. I didn't fully get to see him all the way down. I think you're Jacob as well, up to the front. I did think this was his debut tonight, and it's not. I was chatting nonsense, as usual. He is back. He raced a few seasons ago, maybe picked up a win, a podium here and there, and then took a little bit of a hiatus, but he is back now, and he's thwarting those top 3, top 5 main drivers that we saw deflated as well, up to P2 with his first lap of 0.7. So it's already it's decently close from like 2nd to 4th and 5th. It's like the drivers we expect to be up there are going to be up there. More times coming in now, Velocity Racer, who I would argue is one of the most consistent drivers we have in the league. He's done 12 races, 12 points finishes. You can't ask for much more, to be honest. I would probably say him and Jacob are an underrated team for this season. I can see them, I wouldn't say maybe pushing for the title. I think John and Powen will probably have that under wraps, maybe Willow as well. I think Sun God's joining, and Tim will be joining him tonight in that other McLaren. But I think whilst it kind of calmed down a little bit, say we run through some of the teams just so people know who's with who, and so there's not just some reserves. So glad I ain't racing tonight, because David, honestly mate, I'd joined these guys in the practice session and I was like 3 seconds off the pace. I wouldn't worry about it, mate. Me and you probably would have had a decent laugh at the back of the grid. Who else have we got here? Let's see. I think that guy was on a lap, or he is on one now, coming up to Wall of Champions. Oh, that's wide, and that is Ferrari airline right over those curves. That won't do his back any good, and I'm assuming that's a this and next. I'll be surprised if it's not. It is. Got Chivers and Socks both starting their laps just now. I wonder if that's Jacob going again. He did go again, and he's up to a 10.7. I think we're only going to get 4 drivers eliminated from this session. I think Powen's going again as well, but I believe they're new tyres. No, they're old tyres. Oh, well, shows what I know. DeflatedWee retires, joins John at the top, not wanting to do another lap. Little bit wide and just drags Powen out towards those track limits, but he'll get away with it. We'll go on board with who's on a lap furthest up here. Shivers. who I think is the only driver in this tier that does use cockpit cam, which, I mean, no assists, cockpit cam, I did round of applause just for that personally. Ultimate realism. Not much more you can ask. Finished P12 last season, best finish of 4th. So he does have some decent pace on him, but I can't remember what track that was at. Not 100%, I'm going to assume Saudi. Oh, and he's double invalidated, so that'll be him returning to the pits and getting more fuel in the car. Socks, nice, and taking it nice and gentle, doesn't want to risk the car too much, or an invalid lap. He'll come up to the line, and it will be up to P10 with a 12.1, that should do him quite alright. I think Prev starting another lap. Chaz still valid, fully cut that first part of the track, but I think he might be going again because he's on full battery here. He is indeed, so I think he made a wee mistake on that lap and is now going again. So we're right on board with him for this full one. I thought Socks cockpit cameras, I didn't know that. I thought Socks just had like a goofy camera angle. I didn't realise it was going to be... I didn't realise it was that close either, but every day, there we go, every day's a school day. You know, use a cam looking through. Yeah, that's what it was. It's like his cameraman's like sat like on the airbox of the engine. It's really funny. I think Chivers, is he going? He is going again, but the lap won't count. I has just started his lap, so we'll stay on board with Chaz. That's another big slide, and he did say beforehand he was suffering, just trying to get the car under control, basically. And I know most of us in the party beforehand would have like clowned him a little bit for it, but he is a driver with pace. So it's kind of sad to see him a wee bit. I giggled through that, I shouldn't, but it's quite unfortunate to see him further down the field than where he should be. So for Q2, Q3, I think we're looking at some rain. Is it hello, Ethan? Q2 and Q3, there's rain. Well, that's good. That's very good. Well, there we go. Chaz with an 11.1. I say that's a bit more representative than a 19, personally, but should be alright. Q2 and Q3 rain. That's good to know. It's been a long time since I've seen an onboard. Don't agree with me. It's fine. It's fine. Aya through Wall of Champions. That was very nice. Up to the line, battery at the limit, almost dead, and it's a 10-0 just in front of COD by 6 milliseconds. Q3 it's guaranteed, but Q2 is towards the end of the weather. I forgot Ethan knew about the weather, man. Oh, pardon me. I should have written that on my notes and I've completely forgotten about it. Chivers is invalidated again, so he will be back to the pits for some fresh rubber. Prev also invalidated. Chaz is on the in-lap. What else have we got? COD, I think, went out to give Padge slipstream, I'm not sure. Willow in the pits. 10-10 is back out. Well, I said Willow's retired from the session. I think it's all calming down a wee bit, so we'll go over the teams that we've got for this season. But Red Bull, it's Ayahuasca and JJ, both P4, P17. They're both full time. McLaren is Willow and Olizard. Not 100% sure on that one. My English is horrendous. He says as he tries to. I mean, we're Scottish. We don't speak English here. Jump up with velocity for a wee bit. Olizard, they're both full time, but I don't think Ollie's made it this evening, so it will be Tim jumping in that one. I think I said that earlier. Ferrari, you've got Prev and that guy, they're both full time as well. Mercedes, John and Powen, both full time, they're both in this evening. Aston Martin, you've got Deflated and Marlboro, they are both in, I believe, P11, P2, yep, they're both in. Oh! Oh, I missed that. Chivers has hit the Wall of Champions. Oh dear. Oh no. Hoping to see it there on that guy, but I just caught the glimpse of it. His velocity started his lap. Oh, that's very wide from that guy as well. Just couldn't get the rears locked. That's unfortunate. So there's definitely one Haas car out Q1. 100%. So Chivers will start 19th, so it's now just a battle of, I wouldn't say the wooden spoon, yeah, I don't know, maybe the plastic spoon. Instead, that guy is struggling here with these days. This is Tokyo drifting his way through Sector 1. I think Pound is up on his lap into the Wall of Champions, taking it nice and slow. He can really take liberties for the start of that, for the first bit of that chicane. Pound up to P12, that should be him. Safe velocity following him through as well. He's about a second or something up, I think that's it there. The top right corner up to the line. He goes P9, that pushes Prev into the drop zone. It pushes Padge a lot closer, and Socks as well. JJ to the line. Don't think he improved on that one, so he might go again. That guy is still up on the lap, despite the drift and bouncing over that first curb. Fine. Don't really want to touch the second one if you're able to. Up to the line. Does improve, doesn't improve. I'm not sure, it's not popped up again. That's so slidey through those first couple of corners, that's insane. Maybe too stiff of a suspension, too soft of a suspension. I'm not sure how it works, I won't lie. I just copied them off time trial and think they're good. Powen is backed off, but he's still got a minute to go. Marlborough's went out for his final run. Cod's not retired yet, but he's still sat in the pits, and with Padge out, he won't have to give slipstreams unless he's going out for a glory run. Then there's nothing coming for him. Powen just starting his lap just now, but we need to be careful for though. This next survives. Prev to the line. This might knock Padge down if he can find 4/10. Up to the line, doesn't hold it to the right as much as he should. Up to the line, it's P15, that knocks Padge out in Q1, but it puts Prev right on the limit. GG is invalidated with this in next. Marlborough just starting his lap, so it will be that guy will be next to finish the lap as he goes straight on into the pits and ruins all suspense. So I think everyone now is safe. So these guys now are basically doing glory runs. They don't really need to be out, but Prev just making it through by about 1 and a bit tenths. And JJ, unfortunately, with his this and next, that is him out in Q1. So our casualties were Padge, JJ, that guy, and Chivers, who unfortunately crashed at the Wall of Champions. It's very on the bubble. It's quite close from, is that 4th to... It's not as close as it looked actually, my bad. 4th to about 10th, about a second. Powen does improve to a 10th, that's more of what I expected from him as well. He's also very quick driver on his day. It's very good bright spells last season. I think he had his best finish, P5, the same as Velocity as well, 10 points and 10. Both him and Velocity ones to keep an eye on this season, I would say. Marlborough finishes the lap. I don't know if he improved on it. I missed that a wee bit there in 11.6. Prev is still going just for the sake of it, which maybe fair enough, gives me something to commentate on. But we'll ride on board with him as he makes his way through 6 and 7 onto the first DRS straight of the lap. Just braking just before the shadow of that bridge. That's where I do it anyway, and I have about, don't know, 30 laps of any experience around here. Little bit of tarmac just there helps you as a nice wee reminder for your turn-in points. Keeping it in second, short shifting to third to reduce the wheel spin. On exit, out of the hairpin, down the casino straight, under all the Louis V advertisements. Highling his way towards Wall of Champions chicane. Will he go straight on? No, he takes it all the way through. That was very well done as well. Make it a distant slipstream off the AI ahead of him. Need to be careful to avoid a collision. Just about gets it, and he's been up to P14, so he found a wee bit of time at the end. And I think that pushed Socks just a wee bit further down as well. But thanks to our weatherman in the lobby, we do know that those clouds do have moisture, and that there is rain on the way for Q2 and Q3. So there is a chance that our wet quali record might be broken. Just like there's a 1:15.9 from Thomas that might get beat. But there we have it. John top in the session, 1 lap and done. Deflated and Jacob in the top 3. And Padge, JJ, that guy, and Chivers are casualties from Q1. God bless Dr. Pepper. Anyway. So now, I don't think we'll have the... It took us about maybe 2 or 3 minutes to get a car out on track for Q1. I think if there's rain on the way, there's still a wee bit of blue sky, but if we have rain forecast, I think it was like end of the session, near the end of the session, then people will want to basically get out, get a lap in, and then if it's not good enough, there we go, we can see Aya getting ready, John getting ready. You can see, oh, there we go, this is what we expected. It's the first out. That COD, it is indeed COD, so we'll ride on board with him as they all come piling out of the pit lane, desperate to try and beat the sogginess in the clouds. Bloody hell, there's only half coming out. Holy train. I think at least one car from every team made it through that session actually. That's quite good going. Well in, lads. It's just decently balanced. The wheel did its job this season. We'll ride on board with COD since he's the first one out, and then I think that's the Alpine next. I think Aya Jacob. No, the Williams. It's the Williams, it's Chaz. Okay. We need to remember that, I'll have that ready to go. Just in case, there we go. Right on board with COD, since he'll be the first one. I'm just waiting on the sun disappearing. And then that'll be us. I can't find the Sadge. Oh, what, like the emo? What's the Sadge? Should I know what that is? Is that a sad Padge? I don't know what that is. I'm too old for this lingo. Wall of Champions, nice and smooth, no dissing next for COD Camper, so we'll ride on board with him as he makes his way into turn 1 and 2, holds it in third. Can really get away with cutting that part of the turn 1 as well, which is really surprising. Thinking TT they'll send you to the gulag if you even dare touch track limits on this. Braking just at that funny little man there in the orange high-vis that will wave a yellow flag if somebody goes straight on. Which is one that Chaz taught us in the practice lobby. First man through, keeping it nice and tidy, up through the gears, DRS open towards 8 and 9. And I think anybody that relied on shadows for braking points now, if it does rain, they will be a little bit screwed, toast, there's a lot of words. Someone had Lewis's 2025 helmet unless it's a visual glitch, I can't find it. Oh, no, it's you got it if you pre-ordered the game. Oh, excuse me. If you pre-ordered the game or got the Icon edition, I think you got it, because I've got them. They look really cool to me, do you want them, David? But, Wall of Champion chicane for COD Campbell, your ET1 champ last season, up to the line, setting the benchmark that everybody will need to beat, and it's a 10-2. We'll jump on board with Chaz, who's got a this in next. Water is wet. It's Ethan up to the line next with a 10.8. That's not bad from him. It's not Aya, it was Jacob. John beats it with a 9.6. Deflated with a 9.8. They're all flying in now. Socks to the line is an 11.8. 10.10 just behind him with a 10.3. You've got a yellow sector 2 for Marlborough, who I think's had an incident with an invalid lap. Velocity and Powen and Jacob 7th, 8th and 9th respectively. Jacob will be next to the line. Up he comes through Wall of Champions, keeping it nice and tidy, using a little bit of that Kerbod exit. It feels so good when you can just hook all that up perfectly. A 10.5, that might be a used set for our man in the Alpine. Next, Chaz again. It will be Chaz again if he's got enough fuel and battery. He does. Bounces over, keeps it nice and clean. Now just drive straight, mate. All you have to do. Up to the line, lap on the board, and see, that's the Chaz we know. That's the Chaz that when he can hook a lap up, there he is. That's like, should not be as far down as he is. Maybe some kerfuffle going into the pit lane. There's a wee bit. I think, did Willow go out for his lap? He's going out for it now. Prev up to the line. He's got a this and next, so that won't count. Marlborough has just started his first laps. We'll ride on board with him until Willow is up to speed. He might have just been doing his little trick that he likes to do and just sit and wait can see what everybody else does, so he knows what time he has to be. It's smart. Excuse me. It is smart. Fair enough. If you can use every edge that you can so you know what you have to do to beat your opponents, why not? Marlboro then up towards 8 and 9 at the chicane, bouncing his way through, keeps it nice and clean, no invalidations today. And as we can see, those clouds have said goodbye blue sky, hello blue tyres, because that rain, and there we have it, COD with inters. You should already be through with that lap, you shouldn't have to worry about it. He should be fine, but our top 3 have retired, so they are safely through. I think honestly the cut-off will probably be about a 10-7 maybe a 10-5, 10-6. But Marlboro to the line, kept it nice and clean, did what he had to do. First lap on the board for him, P13 with 12.9, and there's the rain! And if anybody's a Wonder Horse fan, knows a wee bit of Jacob Slater, we could maybe get on do you feel the rain, do you feel the rain, but we might get copyright strikes, so we'll not do that. However, this is now do or die for Willow, because with this rain coming down now, the track will not get better than it is about 2 seconds ago. Making sure all the traffic's out his way, he has to get this lap bang on. The minimum he needs is a 10.9. So maybe doing the little trick that he likes might have backfired on him this time. He should still have the pace to do it. In towards 8 and 9. Not sliding about just yet. I'm not sure how long it takes for the inters to fully activate or to be inter conditions on this game. He's got a purple sector too, so I might just be hyping this up for no reason. But through the hairpin, holds it in 3rd. Jacob did lag out, but he's back in now. I didn't notice that, I do apologise. But down the back straight, in towards Wall of Champions, has to get this spot on if he wants to get through to Q3. Manages it perfectly, up to the line. Will it be enough to get in through? He's into the 10s and it's P5 to 10.2. That pushes Powen down into the drop zone. We'll see if anybody else is out on a lap. I've seen some cars come out. Jacob is on his just now, but he's not improving. You can see the track already looks greasy, and you can see some of those little white dots that we had on last game that show that's when it's inters. That is when it is time to come into the pits and put those tyres on. Sliding about a little bit, he should get away with it with as much as he can. Into the hairpin. Is he going to be up on the time? Is it going to be enough? He's not. He's a 10th down. He needs to have the mother of all last sectors through this chicane. We'll jump on board with him as he runs down the casino straight into the chicane. We'll see how he does. DRS still active as well, so it's not fully inter conditions yet. There's still 7 minutes left in this session as well, so people might have enough time to get the lap on the board that they need. Jacob manages to keep it valid all the way through, up to the line. Will it be an improvement? And it's not. He's 2.5 tenths down, which is not what he needs. He stays P10. Velocity 4 tenths down on his lap. I think Prev's had a spin and an invalidation at the hairpin, so that's him done. Marlboro does retire in the pit, so that'll be him starting P14. Ethan retires in P9. He knows that that's good enough and that's done. Socks as well peels into the pits and calls it a day, and he's P13, and there we have it. Q2 is done with 6.5 minutes to spare. Wow. Jump on board and see if anybody's fancying to go again. Powen's on his out lap, but I don't think he's going to be enough at this point, unfortunately for him. I think Ayaz went out on his inters, maybe for just some reconnaissance, because he's not going to improve on that 10-2. It's also very close, 4th to 6th, all on 10-2s. That's very, very close. Velocity also calls it a day as well. That's unfortunate for him, just getting caught out. And the two drivers I said would be really underrated, getting caught out by the weather. The commentator's curse is so real this season. We'll jump on board with Powen and we'll see if he can improve. But that Tokyo drift out of 495 is just, the grip's just not there anymore. Really struggling just to get the power down. Even when he uses overtake, the rears will just spin up. DRS is still active, but I can see it being disabled for Q3. And it will be track declared wet. Use the inters. Oh, that's a spin, that's a save, that's the grass, and that's the wall. In that order, ladies and gentlemen. And that's definitely Powen out. I think that's probably also a set of softs a wee bit ruined as well. It does say 2 laps on them. So they'll probably get returned as the most worn set from quali. I think that's still how it works. That is him done. I think Aya retired in the pits on track. And that's a spinner all the way down the back straight. Loving the moves. Loving the moves, Power. It's beautiful. Oh, it's beautiful. Just be careful you don't speed into the pit lane, son. Well done. Good man. But that is us for Q2. Hello, Red Dragon, my friend. How are you? Excuse me. Let's make the controller vibrate. Didn't like that. Tim should hopefully make it in. He said he just left work about 15 minutes ago. So he should make it in. And if it's wet quali as well, I don't think it helps that this has been sped up a little bit and he's missed about 4 minutes. I'm not sure what Prev's doing. But hopefully Tim makes it in time. There was a pun to be made there, but my brain's too slow to do it. I'm into Q3 for the first time. Well done, Ethan. Go on, son. I'll add that for the. I'll write that down now. Actually, so that's for my notes next week. Just so we remember. For a wee race recap beforehand. But as we wait on Prev to either improve on the 14.8 on inters, which would be a tough ask, or retire. Oh, pardon me. Go away on my team meal and come back and see it raining. When did that happen? Well, I didn't pay much attention in RE Deton, I won't lie, but I think it was on the 4th day. God created clouds and rain and like sun. I'm not sure, I'm not 100%. But there we go. Q2 done a little bit early. Rain affected session. Some upsets. John, Chaz, Deflated, your top 3, all rather close in that midfield. 4th, 5th, and 6th. Cod, Willow, and Aya. 10-10, P7, Jacob P8, Ethan P9, Jacob just about getting through after he tried to improve just at the end and couldn't really get it. Powen, Velocity, Sox, Marlboro, and Prev. I think all of them getting caught out by the weather, unfortunately, just at the end of the session are our casualties of Q2. And we are into Q3. And I'm not sure if there's any mods in the chat. I'm assuming there will be. Oh, it's fully raining now. That's what we expected to see. That's definitely inters, 100%. We wait on it loading in, but predictions in chat. Rain affected session, so it now does mean if the drivers want to, there is an option of softs for the race. Not sure why they would do that though, because they're not the best race tire. We won't lie, but we won't say that too loud so they don't hear us. But interestingly, Willow on wets. I think it'll be more interesting to see now who's going to be the driver that is able to keep it composed in these conditions, because we were sad joking about this yesterday, where if anybody that didn't see, Willow I think had a social race or an actual league race to do, and he tried to see how we were all doing in practice, and in return we all went on inters for our Q3, or like our short quali run basically, just so we couldn't get a proper reading on it. It was funny at the time, we found it quite funny. But we've kind of jinxed ourselves with it now, because now we actually have to do it. I don't think anybody's done wet running. We've done wet tyres, dry track, but we've not done wet tyres, wet track. So I think they took away being able to do time trial in the wet for some reason. They just don't like letting us have fun, basically. It's shocking. But we're all tediously making their way around. I think Deflated ran a little bit wide there at that hairpin chicane, Jesus. Cod was our first one out again, so we're right on board with him as he starts the lap. Willow has went out on wets, so that will be one to keep an eye on. So unless there's rain for the race, that we've not been told about, and he's saving inters. But Cod Camper through wall of champion chicane, keeps it tidy, and he will be the first one to set a lap. Right on board with him, and we'll see how he does. I'm expecting a few decent upsets in this one, a few invalidated laps here and there. But I think in the wet you do have to take that wee bit of a wider line just so you get it. We've already got a yellow flag on the straight. I think that was just somebody that's done a this and next and has let people through. Already he's struggling through these corners. John's going to... I'm not sure how much dirt air gets affected by in the wet, but John sat right behind him. He's going to be pushing him through this lap basically, and he's not going to be able to tell if he's backed off of it either, because the rain light is now on. So we won't get to see if he's saving or not. Just to see, we'll stick on board with Cod and we'll see how he does through 8 and 9 towards the hairpin. Keeps it nice and tidy through it, but it's just struggling to get the power down in these damp conditions. Up towards the hairpin, just be a wee bit before that tarmac line now if it's in the wet. Keep it all tidy. John might get a nice wee slipstream here down the back straight if he can maybe get a little bit close, but the amount of wheel spin coming out of the hairpin, it's going to burn up these tyres. I'm wondering if any of them have changed pressures as well, because I think you're able to do that outside of Park Fermi. They keep it all nice and clean, they should both get away with that. But John has pushed Cod all the way through this lap, so Cod will take P1 provisionally. John puts 2 seconds on him, fair enough. 10-10 with 24.8, John runs wide turn 1. I think deflated and validated that lap. Chaz, that's unfortunate validation there, that was a bit harsh. I think he lifted enough and got away with that. Jacob a 24.6 as well. Willow a 24.7, and that is on wets. So that'll be one to keep an eye on. We'll see if he can recharge and go again. Aya to the line is double invalid. We've got the 2 Williams who've also invalidated. Not what you want. See if any of them are going again. John's invalidated because he went wide turn 1. Cod, I think, is let 10-10 through, who's now also invalidated. Willow's just purple sector 1, but I'm not sure if that's still a visual glitch or not. But we'll keep on it. We'll watch him and see, because this is one of the things I want to see now, if there's actually a difference between the wets and the inters in these sort of conditions. It's drifting it a wee bit round, but you should get away with it. It'll burn up the tyres a lot more, so I think he might have to go off into the cooling patches off the racing line. He's found a second on this lap. He might be one of the only ones that's kept it valid. John boxes. I'm assuming 10-10 and Cod will do the same if they can avoid each other. Cod boxes, 10-10 keeps going, deflated keeps going, he invalidated that lap as well. So I'm assuming that this lap will be valid for him to the line, and it's only a 25.4, that puts him way out of contention where he'd want to be. But one man on the wets up to the line, and it's only a 23.4, so he's got half a second to find if he wants to get near 10-10 with that inters lap. I've seen Chaz stick the wets on there as well, but I think he's decided against it, and you can see now he's just drifting his way through those corners, which is not going to do those tyres any good. 10-10, 2 tenths up on this lap. I think Ethan's went again and he's kept it valid, so we'll see how he does. I think that was Jacob letting Willow through, so he might be on an outlap, or he's validated. He hasn't validated. But Ethan to the line, our weatherman, P6, 25.2. So I think people will still finding their way, because there's not really much you can do to practice for a wet weather race, unless you willingly sit and just grind it out. But why you would do that to yourself, I have no idea. Oh, excuse me. Ayahuasca on wets. John now also on wets. There's definitely pace in the lap. 10-10. I think he was up on the lap at one point, but he's made a few wee mistakes on that one and he's not happy with it. Liam's almost a second up here. Up to the line. It should improve him a fair amount, and it does up to P3 with the 24.1. Still off where he'd want to be, but it does put him ahead of one of his title rivals in Cod Camper. Willow did go again, but I think after that slide at turn 1 it did just cook the tyres a little bit. It's not going to do him any good. Chaz did go back out on inters. John did go back out on Wes. This is superb. It's the sort of the drama you want to see, and it's only round 1. This is the sort of stuff we say for like title deciders when you're at the end of the season, when there's actually going to be consequences. I think Ethan might back out of this. Like, yeah, he's sat in none all the way down the straight. He won't be improving on this lap unless he's going to go again. Not going straight on into the pits. Aya out on wets as well. Deflated was up on the lap, but I think he's fully backed off now and is sat in none. Willow is up a little bit, so we'll stick on board with him for just now and we'll see how he does. It is another 10th up as well, but he still has to find half a second if he's wanting to replace John at the top. I do believe the pole fight between them now switched. Willow's on 29, so he's one off 30. And John, I believe, was about 28, 27. They were all really close, I remember that. It was like only 1 or 2 or 3 between them all. Willow keeps it valid through Wall of Champions. A little bit of wheel spin getting caught on the curb, but this will be very close if he can get near it. 23-1. So it does seem that wets are possibly the better tyre. John 10th up on the interlap time, and that is on wets as well. We'll stick on board with him and we'll see how he does. I think Aya's just starting his lap now through the final chicane. Chaz on in. We'll go aboard with Chaz. No, we won't. He's done me. Good job. John then up to the hairpin. Only a 10th up. And with only 3 minutes left in the session, if Willow boxes at the end of this one, it might be a little bit touch and go if he can get back out in time for a set of tyres. It's really good to see that there's loads of different options of what people think is quicker here, and I believe all of these guys are in a party. Or most of them, I think, except maybe Ethan, Aya, Jacob and Jacob. All of them are just sat in one big party. Oh, that's wide and a tap of the wall. Does get away with it. It's not as bad as what Shivers was, but up to the line, and it has cost them 4 or 5 tenths roughly over the line. We'll see what everybody else is up to. Cod on a new lap on Inters, and this will probably be one of his, oh, pardon me, final runs. 2 tenths up. As we go, Willow into the pit lane, and this could be very close if he can get back out in time and get the car wheeled away, pushed in, refueled, new tyres and back out without any traffic. We'll go with Aya, yellow flag, that 10-10, Jacob, who's either had a moment lifted off. I've not seen any damage on the car, so I think it was just a little bit of a moment, but he's struggling in these conditions, no lap on the board just yet. Aya through the last couple chicanes, he seems a fair bit down on this time and he has sat in none. Raining is this the Scottish GP? We've had like wonderful sunshine for a few days out. We've been pretty good weather-wise, I won't lie. But Aya's lap not really representative. I think he's just wanting a feel of the conditions and just trying to get a lap on the board. 10-10 with a this and next. John saving, and this will be his final push lap if he doesn't get a this and next. Jacob just slowing to let everybody through to get a wee bit of space, but John starting his final lap now. We'll see who's coming up to complete a lap. That looked very wide, and it is, and he's off. And that will be an invalidated lap, and with only 1:30 left in the session, that could be John done. Willow, who went back out on Inters, but he's only going to have about a minute something, minute 20-ish, roughly, to get round the lap, and on cold tyres and traffic, that might not be what he needs either. Deflated on a lap, I think he's just clouted the wall coming out of 3 and 4, which isn't what he wants. 2 tenths up on his lap, but it might not be enough. Cod has backed out, I believe. He still has enough time for another lap. Aya to the line, he's been 2 seconds up on his lap, but he has sat in none. Excuse me. To the line, that's a bit more representative from our man in the Red Bull, a 24.3. Definitely what he'll be wanting if he can beat his 4th place finish of last season, which was his PB. A lot of games being played at the hairpin currently. Jacob on his lap, Ethan coming up to the hairpin, and he has got a purple sector 2 there as well. See if John can make it to the line. He should. We'll see if he got a this and next or not. They're all getting caught up in traffic. Cod with either 10-10 or Jacob sat behind them. It was 10-10, I believe, who did improve. That's 23.5. Then he'll get the dirt air from that lap as well up ahead of him. John didn't get a this and next, but they're all tripping up over each other as they come up to the line, and that is our Q3 done. Ethan does improve up to P2. It's a 23.0. It's like Brazil 2024, 2023. But it's just all of these times come flying in, and he just misses out on pole by about a tenth. So unlucky for a provisional pole by just a tenth. Chaz up to the line on fresh enters. What can he do? And he goes fastest by 4/10 ahead of John. What will they be able to do? Aya over the line, gets a this and next. Not good enough from him. Jacob up to P2. It's a 22.8, and they're all just pushing them further and further and further down the field as we go. Where are we? John. They're all just tripping up over each other. They're all just screwing each other over lap-wise. It's going to be really close to see how this all ends up. But John needs to find minimum 4 5/10 if he wants to take Chaz off the front row of the grid. Through the wall of champions, keeps it nice and clean. Overtake to the line. Will it be enough? By how much? And it is with a 0.0, but it's 5/10, and then Cod Camper beats it by about, and then Deflated, and then Willow. I can't speak. There's just not enough time in between. They all found the time right at the end. In Willow, after me saying he might not have enough time and might get stuck in traffic coming out the pit lane, and after teasing everybody, going on to wets, takes pole by 0.3 of a second, and with that, his 30th pole in the league. Wow. Our runner-up from last season starts the way that he wants, takes pole position for the Canadian Grand Prix. TTM Jacob on his return. I don't think he's TTM anymore, I think that's changed. Into P2, DeflatedWee P3, Cod Camper P4, our reigning champ in P5, Chaz P6, unlucky with the timing just at the end, Jacob P7, Ethan P8, 10-10 P9, he'll be wanting to build on that in ayahuasca, in P10. Wow. Wow. Is what you want to see from round one. That's a very good sign that there's definitely things to come in this session, and it is dry, but it is overcast for the race. Hello Tim, how are you? Did you not make it home in time, I assume? Overrun by that's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. Oh. I think it's Austria next week, so you should have enough time to practice. I left work half an hour. Jesus, that's rough. That's very, very rough. Waterman, Jesus. Weatherman says no rain. No rain. Okay. Overcast conditions. I'm not sure how much that'll affect temps. Grip will definitely be a wee bit lower if it does affect it. So there's not much sun, there's not enough heat on the track, it might be a wee bit more slidier than we're used to. Canada, this game, I believe, is a lot more harsher on the rear tyres. I think the moment your mediums hit about 30-40%, they will just nosedive off a cliff. It was pretty similar to real life, where Williams left Albon out a little bit too long and the mediums just kind of died off, unfortunately. Strategy options for today, you've got hard, medium, medium, you've got medium, hard, medium, 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 hard. Like, I think a one-stop is possible. I managed it last night with 2 spins, finished the race on about 60-ish, 70-ish tyre wear on the rear left. It's doable, but you have to manage the tyres. I think this year's game is very realistic in that manner. It's not so much where you can sit behind a car in a DRS train anymore. You do have to kind of drop back a little bit, maybe to about 7, 8, 10s. Basically borderline losing DRS, so you have enough of a buffer. So it's not harming the tyres too much and just looking after them and trying to just shimmy your way through. But predictions in chat, who will be our podium, who will be the top step of the podium? Will John be able to carve his way through the field, finish on top? I think he won the practice lobby last night by about 20 odd seconds from just tyre saving. I think the softs are not an option here unless there's a safety car with 3 laps to go. And with safety cars, I think they've been reduced this game. You can only get about 3 a lobby, and that does include VSCs as well. Damage, I think we're on standard. I reckon I get the best start by 20 seconds. Thoughts? I like the optimism. That's what you need at the start of the season, 100%. I believe in you, Ethan. If you can nearly get pole just at the end, or provisional pole just at the end, I believe. 100%. But our wee 5-minute break, I think, might be coming to a close soon. 26, we've got about 2 minutes. So, predictions in chat once again. Anybody about? Who do we think? I will go, let's see, John to finish P1, Willow P2, and we'll go Cod Camper P3. I think Deflated was struggling a lot on the tyres yesterday night, and has been in the practice session as well. So I predict that. Not a Leeds fan, are you, Tim? No, you're a United fan, are you not? You'll summon TD if you start singing I Predict It, right? And we already know what he's like. But thoughts on the 2-stop for me? It depends on what order you do it in, personally, because it's either, would you rather start on the tyres, do we risk all the marbles? The 2-stop's not risky. The 2-stop's the safe strategy around here, honestly. It just depends if you'd rather go start on the hards, which is 3 DNFs and a total of 75. I forgot about that, actually. That just reminded me, Tim. Thanks for that. Total number of penalties in the full race. What do we think? What do we think? Because the pit lane's been brought forward, so there'll be a lot more speeding into the pit lane. 3 DNFs I do believe on, but you're getting about, and I think you can get automatic 2 seconds, 2 or 3 seconds in some of these. There were some of them handed out last night as well. So it'll be close. It'll be very close. It's all about tyre saving this game, basically. If you can just drive smooth, keep the tyres fine, you're chilling. Ethan, your strategy, it either depends whether you will be starting hards and you can nurse them for as long as you want in box with like 10, 15 laps to go and go mediums. Or you start on the mediums, which will be the worst tyre at the start, but then you kinda have like the wee pace advantage at the end. But we'll find out as we are away for our formation lap. We will get everything up that we need, and there are our tyres. Got everyone in the top 6 on hards except Jacob, which is very interesting. Jacob, Ethan, 10-10, Aya, Powen, mediums, velocity on hards. He'll be hoping to make 50-second pace. Velocity will be hoping that he can not get any damage off the start, keep it nice and tidy, and try and gain as many positions as he can when those mediums die off. Socks, Marlboro, Prev, Padge on hards, mediums for those other 3 as well. JJ mediums and that guy, and Chivers on hards at the back, which doesn't surprise me either. They'll be trying to go as long as they can. There's your possible race strategies. A hard medium, also doable, but then you're on the worst tyres at the end when you kind of need to push that little bit more that you need. John on the grass already, that's not what he'll be wanting on those tyres. That's a lovely camera angle through the hairpin. But we wait on them warming up the tyres. I think Jacob will be one to watch off this start, definitely. If he can get the decent jump and pull away on those hards and kind of break DRS and then just manage, he is perfectly fine. has nothing to worry about, and it can just try and manage the tyres for as long as possible. But as they line up into their grid slots, Willow leading us on the formation lap into the grid spots. And now we just need to hope and pray that the game gives us a decent camera angle as we wait on Padge. Not sure what happened there, I came over the grid box and did Marlboro. But Chivers, last one into his grid spot, will jump on board with Willow as we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And we are underway for Season 9 Canada IIRL NA. Willow gets a perfect start, he's already ahead and clear into turn 1. Jacob holding on to P2. You've got John up to P4, fighting with Cod Camper as well, trying to make the most of the early start in chaos as he can. I think he's just got that move done in Cod. Seeded the position, always get a wheel onto the grass through that corner. Cod with a terrible start. He's got Jacob right up behind him, trying to force the move. Runs a little bit wide with the dirty air. Jacob as well pushing Willow through those first couple of corners. It's sector 1 under the bridge in towards 8 and 9. They fly. Jacob and Chaz going. Jacob off the track. I don't know if he kept the position or not. That might be one for the stewards. Chaz looking for a move. Jacob squeezing him to the inside as much as he can go. Chaz running wide, missing the braking point as he can. Gets a little love tap off 10-10. Oh, that's a spinning into the wall. Goes Pound, just gets squeezed out. No room for cars on the exit there. They've all nearly escaped lap 1 unscathed, but the end of lap 1, it is still Willow that leads the way. Jacob, P2, Deflated keeps P3, John up to P4, Cod P5, you get Jacob P6 with that little incident with Chaz, 10-10 and Pound, both into the pits. Prev up to P11, that's a really good start from him off the mediums. DRS is now enabled, so we'll jump back on board with these guys up to the front, and we'll see if any moves can occur. We will jump to positions gained, if I can remember how to do it. Stops, penalties, position change, there we are. That guy up 6 off the first lap, 10-10 and Pound, the biggest losers from that lap 1 collision, unfortunately for them. Prev up 4, but that guy up 6 from the start, that's very, very good. That's 4 positions on merit, which is a superb start, definitely what Ferrari will have been after. Willow is under fueled for this one. You can go, you do gain fuel around here, which is good to know for anybody fancying to do open tier or the assists on Sunday. But in towards Wall of Champions, they're all just getting dragged out from that dirty air. Once again, you got Velocity and Padding. Velocity's had a wee moment off the start as well. It's unfortunate for him. You get Cod Camper taking the fastest lap of the race. I think we've done another commentator's curse. I think JJ got past Padge there as well. Velocity, next week DRS pass as well. Chaz and Aya going side by side. I think Chaz has been pushed off track. I think if he's got a 10-second penalty for corner cutting, it's all kicking off. I can't keep up with this. Still leading the pack. Willow up front. I think they are just all kind of keeping their own way and they're not pushing too hard. They all basically do know what they need to be doing if they want to extend these tyres for as long as possible. And the moment Jacob's tyres hit one little slide, one little niggle, it will be all hands on deck to get past. Chaz is really struggling. He's dropped fully off of the pack. I know he was struggling with that setup beforehand. And after so nearly getting pole position as well, it's a shame to see him back in P9. A lot of penalties already. Deflated, getting a little bit close to the back of Jacob. We just need to brake a little bit early and hope the dirty air doesn't wash him out wide. I think Velocity did just get past JJ into the hairpin as well. We're right on board with these guys as they head in towards turn 1, but we're all just kind of keeping nip and tuck, keeping their way. And as you can see, this will be your championship 5 for this season. 3 seconds clear from the rest of the pack after 4 laps. It's just insane. But it does show how close that this is going to be this year between all of them. It's really good to see. Ethan keeping it well in P7 just behind Jacob, sorry. As well as a Jacob and a Jacob. It's awfully confusing. I can see how Crofty gets his words muddled up so many times. Like Chad's the only one with penalties so far, but I think one of them will probably get removed if he sends it into the stewards. Back up to the front, Willow 80%, 90, 70, 150. Cod having to burn a lot just to stay with the pack as much as he can. We'll see if Deflated fancies the move if he wants to get closer. He is just sat in medium. John also sat in medium. I think his wings were a lot lower, and that allows him to gain on the man in the Aston Martin. But been taking his time, nice and careful. Aya up past Ethan into the wall of champions. That's a decent move from the man in the Red Bull. Back up to our top 5, and they are all just nip and tuck, keeping it nice nice and tidy as much as you want. I think they've all kind of toned down in their track limits nonsense from yesterday. I think everybody in that lobby got at least 3 seconds, maybe 6. I think John was the only one that didn't get any, which is fair enough to him. I think he might be growing tired of being sat behind the Aston Martin of DeflatedWee if he has to look at that sponsored wing any longer. Prev 3 seconds of pens as well, so he's made it 5 laps without being handed the blowhammer from the stewards. Is that velocity round? It is. Just had a moment and he's got half a wing, never mind damage, he's only got half a wing left. So that might be his race done and dusted if he doesn't get that in and fixed. Back up to our guys at the front, Deflated pulling out to get a wee bit of clean air, having a look at his apex. Aya gets up past Jacob as well, Jacob, sorry. So now he's on the charge to get, that's definitely a penalty, 100%. That was a very big cut. Velocity picked up 3 seconds in as well, but he does only have half a front wing. Chivers picking up 3 seconds as well. Man sitting too far down in his cockpit, can't see the track limits. What happened to Chaz? I'm not sure. I think it was, wait, he's got more penalties, that's what happened. Are you sure you can show the ERS dashboard? It's along the bottom, yeah, I can see it. It's that little like one on the left. It's like 56, 60, 64, 65 claims, yeah, that's it. Unless it's something else and I'm being a bit silly. But that's what I know it is. I think Chaz was with Jacob, missed his braking point, went wide, and then there was just a full concertina effect at the hairpin. And he kind of caught out a few drivers, and then I think he ran wide at turn 1 or get hit wide at turn 1, because I wasn't allowed to show it when I streamed. I've not been told otherwise, so... I haven't been told otherwise. And nothing's came through in the Discord about it, so... If it does, it will get turned off, but you'll still be able to see it on their dashboard anyway, so it won't make that much of a difference. The top 5 staying unchanged. Aya might be able to gain on this little gaggle of cars that we have. Velocity did pit and is now on medium, so that will be his long-running strategy into the bin. Aya's definitely gaining because he's put nearly 2 seconds on Jacob immediately. It is top 15 that get points. For people that didn't know, Ethan picking up 3 seconds of pens as well, so now both Williams cursed by the track limits. Prev's had a moment, and in the wise words of DeflatedWee, that is not ideal, and neither is that for 10-10 who gets 3 seconds of time penalties. They're all coming in now. I think after his... It's good to see him still going, because I think it used to be any other moment, because it was just used to be when we had top 10 points. Just any little moment, 10-10 would be gone, which is fair enough. Just old AT1, if you made one mistake, you just weren't finishing in the points. They have dropped COD out of DRS, which is interesting. So COD may be backing off a little bit just to try and preserve the tyres, save a little bit of ERS. You can still, they're still within striking distance in case anything happens, but I don't see COD maybe fully getting back in. Padge with 3 seconds of pen. He was going side by side with JJ through the final chicane. So I don't know maybe if he got bumped wide or he ran wide and kept the position. Powen picking up 3 seconds of pensions just to add to his woes as well. They're all just coming in there, they're flying in. Jacob starting to drop back from Willow up the front. That big lock up there will not help his tyres at all. We'll see if he can get any closer, but I think John soon might start making his moves. It's either that or it's an undercut on the cards. These lot have pulled out near enough 2 seconds to Aya in the last lap. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Ethan getting past Jacob. Oh, pardon me. Putting new stuff in that Dr. Pepper makes it awful guessing. We'll see if these two have any love lost. Oh, they've done a McLaren! Oh, dearie. Oh, that's not what you want to see. Oh, and that's yeah, that is, yeah. We'll let the steward sort that one. I was about to say there's no love lost between these two after the incident on lap 1, and there is definitely no love lost after that. But both Williams now up a place. DeflatedWee. 3 seconds of penalties. That was. I'm not going to say anything more about that. We'll let the steward sort that. I say that as if I'm not a steward. Or the head steward for NA. Johnson there got very close to the back. Jacob has crashed. And that is a safety car. We'll go on board with Prev and we'll see if the car's still there when they come round. Where is he crashed? It's in the middle of the track. Which isn't good, but now, chain reaction, we've got all of them into the pits, and now we'll see if anybody can make any gains in the pit stops. Cod right at the end, he might get a little bit lucky and jump a few if he doesn't get it, and he has! Up past Deflated, up past John, he's made 3 places in the pit stops. Wow. I think all of us that giggled when he picked. Oh, Prev! Oh no! Oh dear. That's not great. Prev with a drive-through, and he won't be able to serve that under safety car either. So on the restart, everybody behind Prev will go up at least 1 spot. I think Sox has gained massively in that pit stop as well. He's up to P8. Chaz, the biggest loser, he's down to P17. Judges ruling for what incident? Strange place to crack. We won't speculate on it. He did have wing damage, could have ran wide, bounced off the curb. We won't say much on it. We'll let myself, Steely, and any disputes that need to sort it. Jacob, biggest gainer, 100%, yeah, because he now has the tyre advantage over these guys. He can go to the end 25 laps. Yes, you can. From here, you can definitely. I think Tim boxed lap 11 for Hards. He made it to the end. I went lap 12 and I made it to the end. And we had no safety cars or anything, that was just straight out driving. So under the safety car, he'll probably only gain maybe about 3 or 4% wear, maybe 5 at a push. Probably not anything more than that. That's Aya as well now, and Socks maybe. If you can get past Ethan and maybe just stick with about 3 seconds of Aya, he is laughing at a decent result. That guy up to P9. Oh, excuse me. And again, good lord. We'll have a look at the penalties whilst we're here. Deflated 3 seconds, Aya 3 seconds, Ethan 3 seconds, Chivers 3 seconds, Powen 3 seconds, Prev with that drive through after speeding under the safety car. 10-10 Velocity and Padge, all with 3 seconds. Chaz did have 10, but I think he served it in that pit stop, so now we can't remove it, unfortunately. But he does have 6, and he is now straight to the back. He just doesn't have much luck, if I'm being perfectly honest. couldn't really get the car under wraps, under control. Lost out a wee bit in quali, lap 1 and then that with the safety car. And the 10 seconds. I also have a safety car in my practice race. Who's practicing? What a sweat. Imagine doing that. Who'd do something like that, man? Shocking. I think 10-10, this will be good for him. He can get back up velocity as well, who didn't box under that safety car. Neither did Powen. But this will probably just extend their tyre life a little bit. They probably won't be too bad. About 30% wear for Powen on those hards. Velocity, I'm not sure with the mediums. I know that the hards around here are about 3% a lap. They can go about 2 if you've fully managed them. But it's just making sure you keep that pace up so you don't drop back. So you're not just managing your tyres for no reason. The safety car should be in this lap when Chaz catches up. We'll have a look at warnings in the top 5. See how they are. Willow with none. Jacob with an invalidated lap but not a warning. Another invalidated lap, not a warning. DeflatedWee know has 3. From that list, invalidated laps now a warning. John 2 warnings and then 1, but they might be collision warnings. Might not be for that. Aya, we know has pens as well. So they're all decently close. Safety car will be in this lap, so it will be Willow to lead them away. And this has now forced the leaders onto a 2-stop. So Jacob now prime position to win this race, because this is when he probably would have boxed anyway, would have been lap 10. Tyres might be a little bit cold off the restart, because they are a harder compound and they're a bit harder to get heat into off the restart. But we will wait on Willow dropping the hammer, and I would assume he would do it when people behind them... Oh, never mind. Shows what I know. He is gone instantly before we even get to the Wall of Champions. So as we restart off of the safety car to start lap 13 of 35, it is Willow who leads the way from Jacob behind Cod Camper P3 after making up 2 places in the pit stops under that safety car. Deflated P4, John P5, Aya P6, Ethan P7, Socks P8. I think he's jumped that guy off that restart. I'm not 100% sure. I think he was P9. Oh, there's a little bit of a mistake, throwing that guy might get back through on the inside. That'll invite Chivers, his teammate, to have a little bit of a go. Can't get near. And that'll put that on hold for now. Aya letting Ethan through on his new tyres. That's quite smart of him. We've got Deflated and Cod. There's contact. Cod's off the road. Deflated keeps the position. John is now having a look, and all that hard work that the Sauber drivers did is now gone in that pit stop. I think that guy's had a moment coming out of 8 and 9 and spun on the curb, and he's now dropped all the way back. Padge has had a little moment with him as well. Socks and Chivers were going side by side into the hairpin, and Willow is absolutely gone. Burned most of his battery on that lap. Chivers gets past Socks. There's a little bit of a contact. They're 3 wide going into the Wall of Champions. They all back out. Powen takes flight over the curves, manages to rejoin safely, doesn't really get in anybody's way. He did go off track to keep the position, so he might have to give that one back. It's all kicking off in the midfield. They're all 2 and 3 wide in towards turn 1. Powen trying to have a look on Chivers. 10-10 trying to get past Socks. Manages it. Socks still on the inside as well. We've got Marlborough just behind this with Chaz on his inside. Does he have the look? He does, and there's contact. You can see that coming from a mile away. Should have backed out. But it's the fight for P8, lads. Simmer it down. Bloody hell. Hello, Steely. How are we? You definitely did join at a good time. 10-10 gets up past Powen on his 12-lap old hard, and that does release him to have a go at Chivers. Back up to the front of the smoke screen is being deployed. Deflated, just not getting a good enough exit that he needed to maybe have the look on Jacob. Jacob is burning now the moment he hits 8th gear. We've got a yellow flag further back. I think that's just for traffic. That's not anything too major. Deflated up to P2. John up to P3 as they head through the Wall of Champions. They all keep it clean. No penalties there. There's just loads of penalties flying in. This is just insane. A massive fight at the back for P8. It's just a massive train. Prev gets 10 seconds for speeding into the pits. 10-10 flies down the inside of Chivers in towards turn 1, 2 and 3, gets that move done. Socks having a look on Powen, who is struggling on those worn tyres just to try and keep himself in the game. Prev's race near enough done and dusted unless there's another safety car. JJ is creating his own little train at the back of the field on his tyres as well. We'll jump back up the front as John's having a little look at deflated through 8 and 9. And as I take a breath quick, wonderful, just got back from my sports massage. How's you? I'm going to need soothers after this, Steely, I'll tell you that right now. Stick on board with these guys for now. I can see John making the move so he can close Willow down as much as he can. I think Liam doesn't fight that as much as he needs to and just lets him through. So we head back through the field. Ethan now is on this train of cars at the front as well. It's very good to see. It's near enough a 6-way fight for the lead at this point. It's wonderful to see. Powen keeps on going, doesn't do anything more on his tyres. We'll see if Socks fancies a go if he can get near enough into turn 1. I just don't think he's going to have the exit that he needed. Marlboro did get, not Marlboro, sorry, Socks. Oh, never mind, he did, he absolutely sent it and I've not seen it. Socks gets the move done on Powen. He's not sticking behind that Mercedes any longer, is not looking at that CrowdStrike sponsorship any longer, and Powen gets 3 seconds of pens for his woes and taps the wall. The holy trinity of I've just lost my position. Back towards the rear of the field, Ethan picks up another 3 seconds as well. Padge, and I think it was Velocity, drifting his way through turn, I think that was 5 and 6, I do believe. We'll jump back up to our guys up at the front where John can kind of lead them in a charge towards chasing down Willow, who's timed that safety car to perfection. He has just gone and completely up the road. Just exactly what he needed. See if that gap comes down any further and if any of them get a wee bit closer. I can see Cod maybe fancying a move on Jacob before he drops out of DRS, but I don't know if he's got enough ERS to have a go. Aya's managed to close, that might be a warning, in fact that definitely will be a warning. He's managed to close up and get close. Deflated, getting awful close to the back. I think Padge has finally got past JJ out of the chicane at the last corner. Prev picks up another 3 seconds of pens. Powen is dropping like a stone here through the race. Socks is doing the ultimate team game and just holding up as much as he can so Chivers can get away. Marble just sticking with these guys as well. You've got Chaz just behind, fancies the move, gets it done just about, and he'll still keep his DRS as well because the detection point is just before that corner. We'll see if he fancies the move on Powen soon enough, or maybe into the hairpin. We'll go back up to our guys up to the front who aren't gaining on Willow. Lost a wee bit of time on this lap. We'll go back towards Chaz. Does fancy the move on Powen. A little bit of a love tap, who does have wing damage. I didn't notice that might be an off the restart, and that would definitely not be helping his race, his tyres, his strategy, his everything currently. Jumping back to the front. Might have to be a possible undercut on the cards here for these leaders. Just to see Socks with 3 seconds of penalties as well. That will be a warning for Deflated as well. That was awful close to track limits. Chaz now getting past Socks into turn 1, who lets him go, so he'll be able to charge after his teammate Chivels. Just ahead, pardon me. 10-10 picks up 3 seconds as well for his woes. And they're all awful close in this top. It's like 2nd to 7th or 8th is all just one big DRS train. Chivers now, he's gained a lot on 10-10 through there. He's done very well to recover after that incident. Lap 1, lap 2 I believe it was. Collected velocity unfortunately for him, and Velocity's just never fully recovered from it. Aya got awful close to the back of Ethan, who's now dropped out of DRS of this leading pack. Again, about 2 tenths on Willow so far this lap, who is pushing and doesn't have much battery left. Aya does get the move done into the chicane and picks up another 3 second pen for his would. Take a shot every time I say 3 second penalty in this stream. I will see you all in the hospital. If you're under 18, do it with fruit shoots, safer. JJ getting past Velocity. Velocity getting it done back. He played the DRS games and flown back past the sister team Red Bull into the chicane. JJ not close enough to make the move. Chaz picks up 3 seconds. Somebody else picked up 3 seconds there and I missed it. I think I want to say Chivers, but I'm not sure. Jacob is now really starting to push these leaders as much as he can. They're all, I was going to say they're all roughly the same amount of battery. John is just chilling. I know what his strat is. We won't blurt that out on stream and rule it out. Jacob is 32% battery. So you might need to save a little bit if you want to move ahead in the race. But we do have IIRL at the back of this train as well. He is also on hard, so it'll be interesting to see how much further ahead he can move. Marble gets that move done into 8 and 9. That was a very good move, but I think Powen not going to be happy about it. Does have DRS for the detection point into the hairpin, gets the move done, does lock up both front tyres, gets it done though, and should pull away here because he will have the DRS, and does. He has an overtake as well. JJ might get the move. Does get the move. Powen picks up another 3-second pen for his, but it's just not been his data. I've actually cursed the 2 drivers I said would do very well, or I thought would do very well. Called them underrated in their P12, P16 after incidents out with their control. It's such a shame. Honest to God. I should just not point out people that I quite like in this league anymore. It shouldn't happen. We won't jinx anybody. Leaders still just keeping about that 3.5, 3.7 second gap to Willow, who unless makes a mistake or cooks his tyres in the next few laps. Speaking of mistakes, JJ is round at 3 and 4, does get it moving, so it won't be a safety car, is ghosted just in time so that guy will get through. And they're all just kind of keeping nip and tuck, not pushing too hard. They know where they have to use overtake, so kind of camp down just a little bit compared to how it was off the restart. So we'll jump back to Marlboro, who I think was behind at the detection point. Ethan pits. So the first one to blink, gonna assume that's for hards till the end? Surely. Well, it is hards till the end, will not be mediums. Powen 10 seconds for speeding, and it's just not been his day today, it really hasn't. And does call it a day, unfortunately, for him. Will not keep up that wee point streak that he had going of 10 and 10, unfortunately, for him. But Ethan now, one to watch. See if he can gain on the leaders. Powen has also just immediately left, unfortunately. We'll go to the gap to the leader. It's about 28 seconds for Ethan. It was, where would they have been? Another yellow, I think. Velocity has spun and lost the wing as well, so he might be calling it a day in the pit lane. Also, the gap to Willow has came down, I do believe, down to 2.8. They've gained about a second. I think John has put foot to the floor and realised he has to push. Ethan was just behind the Aya, roughly. He was about 18 seconds in the pit lane here. I think that's Prev that's had a moment. It is Prev that's had a moment. Chivers picks up even more pins. Is there wing damage on that Ferrari? If it will let me change camera angle, please, game. I think he's got away with that. I think it's just a normal spin, fortunately for him. But our leader's now taking a second out of Willow. We'll see if Jacob fancies making his move soon, because those hards will be getting a wee bit worn in their age. We'll see if he fancies boxing again. They can go to the end, but I feel like the amount of pushing that he's done so far this race will not be beneficial for him. Chaz gets the move done on Chivers through 6 and 7 and gets the DRS to pull away. So even more salt in the wounds. Ethan, I think, fancied the move on Socks there, couldn't get it done. We'll see if he fancies it in towards 8 and 9, but I don't think he'll get it. He does not, so he'll probably get that move into the hairpin through the DRS check. The gap is down to 1.8 and Willow pits, as does Liam. So the undercut strat I mentioned, not going to be enough. I do think it's about 18 seconds you lose here, so Willow should come out about 17, 16 behind. The gap was about 2.1 when he boxed. It's Willow, Deflated and 1010 that do box, they do respond. Chaz is just off in the background, but he should not be any hindrance to these guys. We'll check the leader interval. And it is about 14 seconds, and it's 17 seconds as well for Liam, who's went for mediums, which he did struggle on yesterday. So he's went for a reversal strat compared to Willow, who's went hards for the last 12-13 laps that we have of this Grand Prix. Jacob I'm not expecting to box, but John should be an end of this lap. I think John might lose out to Willow and Deflated here. It'll be awfully close. We'll ride on board with our 4 in a row champion. What are pens like? Well, they're very high pressure still, like, you know, you have to, it's like everybody watching you, like, okay, no. John pits, Jacob stays out, Aya pits, Aya stays out, and they both pit. So we'll ride on board with Willow, who I'm gonna assume will jump these guys in the pits, which he does, but it is a straight on into turn 1, so it's more going to be close between John and Deflated. John just coming out of the pits now, and they're miles out. The undercut, so powerful around here. Cod just getting out in front of Chaz as well. It's very, very powerful around here, but now, with Deflated and John on the better tyres, and Cod as well, just a wee bit further behind down the road, they now have the tyre advantage, but they just can't fully mince them enough, or else they won't have anything to fight with at the end of the Grand Prix. I'll stick pins on now for Steely, and I think somebody said 75 seconds, you might be a wee bit close. Wow. Pardon me once again. Jump back to tyres so we know everybody's on. Aya picks up another 3-second penalty, so he probably won't be in contention for anything major this afternoon. John pushing Deflated through the wall of champion chicane. Is he going to fancy the move into turn 1? Liam's in none, John's in none, in towards turn 1. Liam breaks early, gives him the room. John up to P4 and allowed to chase after Willow. No real surprise that, yeah, this is roughly the same as last night. Near enough. But John now, free, chase after Willow, see if he can maybe snag that win back. He's got about 11 seconds, 12ish seconds to catch. 10 laps. It's definitely doable if he doesn't mince the tyres, but it's 100% going to be interesting. I do agree with you, Red Dragon, to see how this all shapes up at the end. They have all spread out a little bit. It is mainly just this fight at the front that we will be watching. Ethan did close up a little bit. I'm not sure how much it will be now. He did gain about 7 seconds-ish, roughly. JJ with 3 seconds as well. Prev into the pits, who is now a lap down, I believe. I think also JJ and Velocity are about to be a lap down too. But I don't think they need to get out of the way. Hi, Yasano mate, how are you? I don't think you can finish on me. Well, no, neither do I. I think the tyres will fade at the end. Because if we were hitting about 60-ish, 70-ish, they'll fade away. It then just depends how much that these guys have pushed their mediums though, that's the only thing. And I think Liam's pushing a fair amount just now just to try and stick with John. I did say John would win. I'm going to have a real struggle to pick driver of the day for this. Honestly, it's going to be difficult. Very, very difficult. That guy boxes for softs. They will be... They won't even be like a 50 pence piece. They will be like a shilling by the end. There'll be nothing left of those tyres. But I think he is going to come out just in front of our leading pack. So if you can get them up to speed and pull away a little bit, then he's away. Marlboro and Chivers playing DRS games. Little bit of a slide, maybe the brake bias and the diff not working, as well as Marlboro with 1. John has closed the gap importantly, he has closed the gaps down about 2.7, just there or thereabouts. Willow, the gap with him just went under. Pardon me. That Dr. Pepper's awful gassy. Gap for both of them now under 3 seconds. Aya just sitting outside that DRS window just to try and keep his tyres as fresh as possible, and I think when he does want to push, I was going to say he will have the battery to do it, but I think he's already pushing, so it doesn't matter. If Willow wins, I think he's driver of the day. I mean, for a pole to win, yeah. I think in the way that it's happened, the league, and well, not inverse pole, obviously, it was just normal inverse pole. He's done very well to convert it, especially with the safety car and the strat difference. Has done well. That guy, the tyre whisperer. I will wait and see. John Tyres will give him an advantage for maybe 1 or 2 laps. But I agree. I think it's the moment the mediums hit 35-40%, they will just completely fall off. 10-10. Oh, just missed them. Does get past Socks as well. I think Chaz and Ethan are swapping places, but these two are teammates, and I can't really see anything major happening. It's more because there's really no surprise driving, plus I think you have to recognise his choice of having too hard. Yeah, definitely went for the harder strategy as well, or the harder tyre compound. Body boy. It's not me typing, I promise. It's not me. Deflated, but another big lock up in Willow now is in the DRS of Aya. Those new hards are probably going to work a treat. He probably has this race, champagne on ice, near enough. I think Jacob might get DRS from some of these lapped cars ahead of him. He just needs to hope they don't hold him up. You can see the blue flag being waved by the marshal at the exit of the corner. But that little skirmish might have cost. Yes, it's me, Killian. No, it's not. No, nothing major would happen between teammates here. It's already happened. Well, it wasn't between teammates, but it did happen. It was the same incident. Velocity was 3 seconds as well, just not his day. Track limit wise either. I think these two will probably be keeping themselves well behaved. Play the game for a couple of hours, it's quite common sense to be honest. I'll be doing the same. Yeah, I'm off Sunday, so I will just be sweating the game fully because I want a decent start to the season for assists. We'll jump back up to the front. John did get past Aya, I missed that, I was too busy yapping. Willow as well, they're all just convened on each other, so it might get a wee bit spicy. This depends how hard Jacob fights to keep the lead. They're both roughly the same amount of battery. Jacob with about 10% more, Willow using none all the way down the street, still gaining with that DRS. They're both satting on into the braking zone through Wall of Champions, keeps it all clean. Willow tapping the wall just a little bit, but he will unleash that extra power that ERS gives you. Has a little look to the outside, but Jacob covering the inside, keeps it all nice and tidy, does everything you want. Little bit of wheel spin on exit. Deflated has got past Aya as well, as that's velocity getting lapped and staying ghosted, so there's nothing to worry about for him. Chaz does box, which is odd. But we'll jump back on board with our fight for the lead. Jacob getting a big wiggle out of the corner, lets Chaz through. There's no point fighting it on his old tyres, and we have a new race leader with 5 laps to go. Runs a little bit wide on exit, carrying maybe a wee bit too much speed, but John pushing as much as he can to get into that DRS zone. I don't know if he got it or not. That's a big lock up from Willow as well, but this will give Jacob all the DRS that he needs, because Willow will have burned a fair amount just to get past John. Did not get the DRS, so it will be a 3-way fight on the last 5 laps of this race for round 1, the NA season. Running a little bit wide, taps the wall with the rear, gets away with it, but it just won't be helping the tyres at all. They'll be begging for mercy at this point, and this will indeed help John close up if these two can sit and fight it. But John now definitely in the DRS of Jacob ahead. See if he can make the move. I can see Jacob dropping out of this awfully soon. We've got a yellow flag behind, I think that's Prev, that guy. What's that guy doing? Burnouts. And there's a safety car! Right at the end! Wow. 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 Absolutely bailed Jacob out. Unbelievable. That sounds like I'm really biased there, it's not what I mean. But that is, wow. 21 lap old hards. And the issue with this is as well, how long will that safety car stay out? So there's only 4 laps left, and I'm pretty sure they have to do at least 2 laps. But we'll see if anybody fancies to move into the pit lane if they so wish, and then if they fancies track position. But I do believe everybody will be boxing for sauce. We've already seen it from 10-10 downwards. Chaz stayed out, he just missed out, unfortunately for him. Not deflated, sorry. Jacob onto the softs, Willow onto the softs. John. 14 lap, oh no! John's on mediums. Oh no, I'm assuming that's a game bug and he's not done that deliberately. Because he definitely had softs available. Has he done what I did at Silverstone and put the wrong tyres? Oh wow. That is... He's put the wrong tyres on. Oh. That guy who's been disqualified for ignoring yellow flags with a 10-second penalty with it. That is the most Ferrari strategy I've ever seen in my life. That is unbelievable. Unbelievable. And it is going to be a 2-lap shootout. Right at the very end. This is a superb time for an ad. Wow. If this is what the rest of this season is, I'm not going to have a voice by like round 4. Oh, honestly God. We'll see if he comes in again at the end of this, but it would just throw away all the track position that he's got, so I don't see it happening. And he does stay out. That's unbelievable. The script writers have thrown it's not even a curveball. Typical AT2 curve sticks is in chat. There is cars ahead of John that have, or like behind them that do have pens. Deflated has pens, as does Aya, as does, well, COD doesn't. In fact, we can check that just now actually, we can check warnings. Whilst we're here and we'll see if people push it right to the end. Willow, 1 warning, 2 invalidated laps. Jacob, 1 warning. John, 3 warnings, but I think some of those were collision warnings. COD, 1 invalidated lap, 1 warning, 3 invalidated laps. Okay. But this is now essentially Australia 23, 24, where there was the restart right at the end with like 2 laps to go and it was just chaos. That's what this is going to be. Safety car is in this lap. We will have a 2-lap shootout to decide the winner of round 1. This is round 1. Where was this at the finale last season at Saudi? Where was this? The only drama we got is that John's wheel disconnected itself. But our 4 in a row reigning champion is sat P3 on 15-lap-old mediums. Everyone around him is on fresh softs. But we will wait to see when Willow puts foot to the floor. He's done it later than last time, right at the entry of the corner. And it's go, go, go for the final 2 laps of the Canadian Grand Prix for round 1. He leads us away. Prev gets another 10-second penalty for speeding into the pit lane. JJ picked up 3 seconds off of the restart. We'll see how well John can hang on, but I can see Deflated just pushing him round the corner. He's already got the run on him. He's going to fancy the move into turn 3, gets it done just at the apex, manages to get it done. They're all picking up penalties for ignoring yellow flags. Aya's going to fancy a move, nearly contact, has to back out of it. John down to P4 and he's off the podium as it stands. We'll see if our top 2 fight anymore. We might not even get DRS enabled after this. You have to wait 3 laps after a safety car, so there's going to be no DRS, I don't think, unless they've changed the rules and I don't remember. But John is just struggling, can't get the grip out of the corners. Is Aya going to fancy the descent into the hairpin? Has a look late on the brakes, pushes him a little bit wide, gets the move done, and he's up to P4. I don't think John fighting it because those 2 do have penalties. He's just burning as much battery as he can just to save as much as possible, or salvage as much as possible as he can. He should still get a podium at this rate as long as Cod Camper doesn't finish in front of him. But as we start the final lap of the Canadian Grand Prix for round 1, DRS is enabled. I cannot remember my rules. We will see if Jacob fancies the move on Willow on this last lap. If at any point he gets the chance, Cod, will he fancy the move on John, who does have the DRS, is sat in none, just trying to salvage as much as he can from what's left of this absolute horror, or this dream that's turned into a nightmare. He's pushing him round turn 7 into the DRS zone. Is he going to fancy ascend? We'll have a look under the bridge. I don't know if he'll fight it, and he does, and that's going to promote Cod Camper up to P3 onto the podium, but we'll jump onto our top 2 who are going to go side by side near enough out of the hairpin. Is Jacob going to get the win on his return? Willow, absolutely no battery left. He can't defend against it. Jacob takes the lead. It's a reminiscent of 2011 on the last lap. Through the chicane, gets a good enough run, and TTM Jacob takes the win on the final lap. Before the final corner, Willow has to reconcile for P2. Deflated gets P3 right at the end. I think he only gets 3 seconds of pens in the end. Cod Camper P4, John P5 after that absolute horror show in the pits. Marlboro P6, that's a superb. Did he not? He started. Wait, I didn't even get to see. Bloody hell. That is. Wow. Wow. I'm speechless. Absolutely speechless. That's round 1. Round 1. Wow. It's just insane. Excuse me. I'm gonna need to visit the pharmacy tomorrow and pick up some throat soothers because my god. As we enjoy the champagne of our winners, our accolades, Chivers with a driver of the day. We might need a VAR check on that one. Willow with the fastest lap, no doubt in that. Chaz with the most overtakes, doesn't surprise me. John with the cleanest driver. That is an unbelievable race. Unbelievable. Couldn't have rode it better if we tried. But Jacob from P2 takes P1, an incredible stint on the hards and a safety car at the end to save his bacon. Willow unfortunate to lose out right at the very end with P2. Willow P3? Deflated P3, Cod P4, John P5, Marlboro an incredible result P6, Aya P7, Sox P8, Chivers P9 from P19 is phenomenal. And 10-10 just rounding off the points in P10. P10 for 10-10. There you go. Wow. I need to lie down. I don't think a week's long enough. Can we just do another break week after this already? I need to lie down. Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. what more could you ask for a season opener? That is unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. I'm gonna wait and see if Padge got the screenshot of those results at the end. You ain't gonna. I'm not gonna last the next round. Never mind the season. That was unbelievable. I think Padge is just about to post the results just now, so I can get a wee bit further down for people that missed it. Because I wanted to see podium celebrations, or let people see their podium celebrations. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Genuinely could not have asked for anything better. Superb. Welcome to season 9. It's just brilliant. That is just brilliant. There we go. Got to Chivers in P9 from P19, 1010 was P10, Ethan from P8 is P11, so he will still get points, but just outside the top 10 unfortunately for him. Padge P12 from P16, a very good result for him. Chaz, unfortunately, just a victim of near enough everything today. Unfortunately for him, it's down to P13 from P6. Velocity Racer, I feel like I jinxed and I do apologise to you, mate. P12 to P14, finishes a lap down. JJ P17 to P15, it's not bad, makes up 2 spots. Prev did not have a good day at all in our DNFs from round 1. Powen, Jacob who crashed, and that guy who I believe after that spin, I think called it quits. Oh no, he got disqualified, sorry, I think. That's what it was. Just 2 DNFs and a DSQ. Thank you for no worries, Rids, mate. I will be here next week. Can I have driver of the day? No, but I will make that. I'm going to make that stand for something else, but I'm not going to say it on stream, so I want to try and keep this as PG as possible. But that is us. Round 1 of Season 9 NA done in the history books, into the stats pages as arguably one of the best races I've ever seen in this league, I won't lie. We will be back, or NA will be back on the same time next week, be 7:30, and we are back in my homeland, Styrian Mountains, Österreich, back home in Austria. It's a sprint weekend also. Cannot wait. Bitte schon, David. Danke schon. Bitte schon. No worries, Steely, also. If you want to catch more of the streams, we are back on, I believe it is Thursday, for open tier, and that's at the same time at 7:30 as well. And then Sunday we have assists tier, and I'm racing in both. So if you want to make, or watch me make an absolute, not going to finish that, but you all know where it's going, of myself, then you can watch that here. I believe it's Socks, I think, doing open tier, and I think it's Snacks streaming assists. Not 100% sure, I can't remember, my head's fried after that. But that is us. We will see you all same time next week. More races during the week if you fancy them, and it is an au revoir from me. Bye bye.